Good evening, YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'd like to introduce tonight's guest. We got a 176-pound killer in the house. Goes by the name Dalton Duncan. What's up, brother? How are you today, man?
What's going on, man? Doing pretty well.
Doing great, bro. Doing great. I want to talk about this amazing performance you put on. I think it was like a month back now over at Larray Jenkins' insane 176 round robin. And I gotta say, man, you definitely shocked me that day. I know you guys were had you guys on the channel beforehand, you, Austin Tevis, and Hunter Knopf. It was real interesting lead up. You guys were going at each other, lots of side bets going on, lots of shit talking. I loved the hype and all. But I gotta say, man, like leaving there, I wasn't so sure where you were gonna, be, where you were gonna end up. And then to watch that day, I was like, holy shit, this dude is no joke, man. What a move and everything. First I want to hear about what was the experience like there, bro? Like, how was the round robin? Like, what was the atmosphere like? How was your nerves? Like, kind of fill us in on all the details.
So that was my first round robin ever. I knew going into it that my defensive top roll would have gotten me into a lot of trouble. So um, I had to go back and train more of the hit, going sideways, staying offensive the whole time. And me and Justin came up with great game plan and seemed to do fairly well. Um, the atmosphere, though, I mean, it was good. It was great. Uh, you know, Hunter Hunter would always go back to his little side back there. Me and him talk shit across the whole bar to each other the whole time. I mean, the shit talking never quit. We was always going at it. Um, Austin, he didn't show up, so we didn't get to see the tattoo yet. I don't even think he's gotten it yet. I don't think he will if he ever takes this match. I think I'll put him in debt.
Wow.
You know,
Let me ask you, man. So you show up at the round robin, you get to see everybody, you kind of like sizing everybody up. What's your thoughts, man? Like, say at the press conference, did you legitimately think that you had a shot at winning it, or were you like, I don't know, man, these guys are looking like kind of scary right now?
no, 100%. I mean, I let me see. Left-handed, I knew I wasn't going to win it. I did fairly decent left-handed. My left actually surprised me a little bit, but Eli, Justin, Jeremy Fraley, um, and Devin Bear, they were like, I knew they were going to be at least top four, and turns out it was right. But Eli, I think he gave me my first loss left-handed. I think it was like round four. When I felt his left hand, there was no. I knew he was probably going to go on a rampage, and he probably wasn't going to get beat. That was a lot of power in that arm he had. Devin Bear, um, I had him on my side of the table, and rookie mistake. I tried to rush the pin, and he ended up sucking me into a hook, and then it went all downhill from there. Um, Jeremy Fraley, I took his hand, but I have never felt side pressure like Jeremy Fraley's got. I mean, he just went sideways, my whole arm extended out, and I was like, oh man, I kind of stopped him before the pad, and I was like, okay, maybe I can sit right here, wear him out. Nah, he jumped up, regrip, and it was done for. Um, and of course, Justin, um, you know, I had to lay down to my boy. I couldn't, I was already down. I think I was like, when it was got to me and him, I done took like 4 or 5 losses, and he had the one loss. Um, we was hoping Eli would at least foul out to get a loss, and because I think if it was anybody to beat Eli that day, it was going to be Justin, 100%. Um, but yeah, right-handed. I mean, I've beat bigger guys than the people that show up, so I don't care about the size. Um, they all look like freaks, especially Cody Wood. Um, Somehow he's still the lightest guy. Makes no sense. He looked like he was 220 pounds. Um, but yeah, I mean, big guys don't really mean anything to me. I've beaten bigger, so
Dalton, what place did you come in with the left hand? I know with the right hand you came in second place behind Hunter Nouse. What
yeah,
about left hand? What place were you in?
I was just outside the money. I ended up in seventh place.
Okay. And now on the right hand, who was it that like you were like, oh wow, bro, this guy is just on another level? Or was there anybody that was like on another level there that day? Did you say?
Not really. Um, you know, Even though Hunter Knopf, he won it. Um, he still has some lanes that he could be beat, but um, and Alexander showed that. But on another level, Hunter Knopf's speed and cup, it was ridiculous. You know, by the time I started going, I was like an inch from the pad. I mean, he already had me down there. I was like, fuck, you know. So, I mean, it's hard to come back up from that side, especially way down there. By the time I start going, and it was done for. I mean, he did me three times like that day. I mean, I wasn't stopping it.
Let me ask you, were you surprised at his performance? Did you think that he had a chance at winning, meaning that he just won the 154 round robin? He was probably, either the smallest guy or the second, with Cody Wood being in there. So, with that being said, did you think he had a shot at winning this?
Well, I knew he was going to place high just because of his style. His style matches up very great to round robins. If he can get the match over with quick, like he did to at least nine of them, I knew he was going to do fairly decent. Winning, I really didn't think he was going to do it. Um, but his favorite phrase is "doubt me," and we doubted him, and he took it home with him. So he's got his East versus West shot now, and I wish him well for that.
Now, is there anything that you would do different if you had a super match against Hunter? Did you learn anything that day about his style? Do you have something else that you would try on him if you got another shot?
Uh, well, I'm pretty sure if these guys don't take this 2K, I'm calling him out, and I'll just have to show y'all how to beat this guy. Um, but yeah, that's probably going to be in the works here soon. I can't I can't take a loss like that and not come back. That's
Hell
just
yeah.
not me. So yeah.
Just want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Let me go through a couple of the guys. We got the regulars in here. We got Devin's Forum. What's up? Drew 24, Crazy Uncle Jim, Atlantis, Jay Corbin, David Torres, Christopher Porter. What's up, everybody? Thank you for being in here. And if you don't mind, click that thumbs up. And any questions you guys have for Dalton, feel free to post it in there, and I'll definitely read them out to him. So, Dalton, now, after being in that round robin, I know this is your first one to ever go in there. Obviously, you were very successful. You came in second place with the right hand. Do you believe that you'll be doing more round robins? Was that something that you liked?
Oh yeah, especially Laray's event. I mean, Laray's event are crazy. Um, and he's been getting better and better guys in. So it's coming. His tournaments are starting to become more of the elite tournaments in the U.S. Um, just like with the 98s and the 54s. I mean, he had the toughest guys in every weight class coming to this thing, and to see a group of guys like you got Justin, Devin Bear, Eli, Alexander, Dustin Hyatt, Hunter Knopf. I mean, to have all of them in one room, that's that's insane. You know, so I would definitely at least be doing Laray's.
Yeah, is amazing, and Laray's got another great one coming up where he teamed up with Tim Talmadge, and they're going to be over at Arizona State's, and I believe that's going to be June 1st, and they got a 220 round robin going on that day, which will be very exciting to watch. And we know that Craig Toulier, the winner of the 198s, he'll also be invited for that 220. With that being said, I gotta think, man. I think Craig Touye might possibly take the 220s as well. What's your
Oh
thoughts
yeah,
on that?
yeah. Craig is a different monster, man. He's not somebody you want to sleep on ever. There's some people out there, and I mean, even with the older guys been in it for a while, they like to sleep on people because they just think they're that much stronger, you know. But with Craig, he's got everything you could think, especially with round robins. I mean, he's so perfect for it, speed. And I mean, even if Craig gets stopped, he's got the power. I mean, I watched him in that 98 put Adam Warzone in a hook and then just go slap through him. And I was like, there's nobody stopping him today.
Yeah,
And I don't know who's all in the 220s, but once you start getting into them heavier classes, they tend to start slowing down. And you got somebody like Craig with 220 power, but also having that speed. He's going to mess a lot of them up.
I agree. And that double hit, man, is just deadly. It's like,
It's
you're lucky
ridiculous.
enough if you could stop the first one. And then right as you stop that, and you're like, oh shit, there's a second one coming. And that
Oh, yeah.
usually just breaks everybody down. So
Yeah.
can't wait to see that. But I'd like to welcome our other guest tonight. We got Katie Marie has just popped in here. How are you, Katie?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So, Katie, you've been making a lot of waves in the arm wrestling community lately. So I hit you up. I wanted to find out more about you. Wanted to first, where do you live, and how long have you been arm wrestling now for?
So I am from East Bend, North Carolina, a little small town. And I've been arm wrestling. It'll be a year at the end of July. So not long. I'm pretty new to the scene anyways.
Very nice. And how did you find arm wrestling?
Um so it's actually a funny story. My brother got me into it. Um, he got me into powerlifting as well, but then he brought up wrestling. So when he brought that up to me, I was like, Jonathan, that's silly. Like that's so silly to me. Like at first, and then he had a super match, and I went to it, and then the atmosphere, and then it was just I was hooked since then.
So, how long have you been powerlifting for?
Oh God, um, 10 years on and off.
Awesome.
So I dabbled in powerlifting, and then I've done MMA as well.
Oh wow, what kind of MMA? Like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or was it like everything?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, and boxing is usually what I did mostly.
It sounds like you don't want to get on Katie's bad side because she could give you a serious ass whooping with what I'm hearing right now. So, Katie, how is powerlifting translated over to arm wrestling for you? Has it been a success? Is there still a lot you gotta learn?
Well, I mean, obviously, like the strength part, but the downside with that is that arm wrestling is more than just a strength sport. It's also like a mental sport and outsmarting your opponent. So, and it was also different form, something that I've never been used to before. So when I first did it, I was like, this feels so awkward.
And then how did it work out for you? Are you have you been beating people? I've seen a couple of your matches and all, and it seems like you came in pretty dominant right off the bat and all. But like kind of fill us in. Like have you been, pretty much beating everybody been coming across because you've been stronger than them?
Um, I mean, I've beat several girls, but I mean, I've also taken some losses as well. But I mean, it's made me a better puller because I like to video my stuff and see what I did wrong. I know that me and Lucky, she was my first super match ever, and we did both left and right. And then I did a tournament in Virginia, and I pulled a couple of girls. I locked up with Christy. I don't know her last name, but she was a powerhouse. She pretty much blew through everybody. Um, and then Lizer, I had a super match with her in April, well, last month. And then my next one is May 18th. So that will be with Kayla Cook for the
And
#1 spot in North Carolina.
oh wow, very nice. And where can everybody
Mhm.
watch that? Do you guys know where that'll be? A YouTube channel or something?
I know it'll be streamed. However, I don't know how they're going to be streaming it, but it'll probably be on different platforms if I were to guess, because usually it is.
So I know you said that your first super match was against Lucky, and if you guys
Mhm.
don't know who Lucky is, Lucky's she's pretty new in the sport, but doing a lot of big things for the ladies. She just started this Lucky's podcast with the ladies on. It's the first female all female arm wrestling podcast. So it goes on Saturday night. I think it's 10 p.m. Eastern time. Not sure what exact time and all, but if you haven't already, make sure to get over to her channel, subscribe. It's great atmosphere. I love what she's doing for the ladies, and that's actually where you came on the radar to me. Was I was
Mhm.
watching Lucky. Lucky's been making a lot of waves as well, going around smashing a lot of the OGs in the sport. And then I seen you two having like an absolute war. I was like, oh my god! I was like, the ladies are looking strong these days. We got some new up and coming pullers that are getting a lot of great energy in it and a lot of eyes on the sport. And I definitely wanted to get you on the channel and kind of hear what you got planning and what's
Yeah, I
some of the
appreciate it.
what's some of the goals you got for arm wrestling in the next year.
Um, I I have several. There's a lot of things that I'd like to do. I know that there's other people that has reached out to me that is out of state that I would love to go to. So that's something that I'd like to do because I feel like yes, there's strong women in North Carolina, but I want to see where I stand with other women in different states. Um, and I have my own a couple of top pullers, but it's going to take some time and some effort to get on that level. But that's my goal, anyways. Little baby steps.
So do you have any if you got to pick one person, any person there is on this planet that you could pull, who would be your dream match?
I hate that I'm probably gonna butcher her name, but she's a freaking beast. But she went up against Sarah Bachman. Um, Ingrid starts with an E. Short black hair. I'm horrible with names. Um,
Do you know where she faced her? Was it East versus West or was it a local
I th-
tournament?
I think it was East versus West. I'm not sure offhand. I can't remember the tournament, but I remember pulling it
Oh,
up
Egley,
on.
Egley, Egley. That's it.
Yes, yes, yes. She was a freaking powerhouse. And she's really tall. I liked because I mean I'm 6'1", so I like to watch, other pullers that are my size because shorter people and taller people we pull different. It's not the same. So but I mean I like to pick everybody's brains and see how they pull and see if I can steal something that works for me or makes me stronger or quicker.
Yeah, Egley's a great person. I got to meet Egley in Turkey at East vs. West 4. And the first thing that I noticed with Egley is when I grabbed her hand. I've never felt another woman's hand feel so strong in my life. And I mean, I felt them, I felt Gabby, I felt Sarah Bachman and Michelle Dugan and Liz Mozek. And Egley was just, oh my God, like it didn't even feel like real. It was like a machine. Like it was crazy. So, and Egley was such a nice person as well. Very, very strong puller, world class. Definitely a great inspiration to want to pull her for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to bring up the subject because I know that you were saying you wanted to get around the country and start doing some traveling and get some pulling in, and we know that could get a little expensive doing it on your
Mm-hmm.
own dime. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
bring up the topic to both of you guys about finding sponsorships, like going about the
Mm-hmm.
best way to get sponsors and all. So what I was like to tell a lot of people is, when they come over to me and they're like, where do I find sponsors? Because I really don't know where to go. I always tell them, I lead them and I say, whatever you do every day, you wake up, you go to a certain breakfast spot, you go to, a convenience store on a regular, you go to a pizza place, wherever you go on a regular basis, even the gym, maybe a lot of people know you at the gym. Maybe a lot of people know that you have an arm wrestling background. Well, I would go up to those people and I'd let them know, be like, yo, I travel around the country. I get a lot of eyes on me in the arm wrestling sport. I would love to, put your name on my shirt, and then go get a shirt made up and go get a couple of the sponsors. And that'd be a good start for people to get out there, just to, get some sponsor, get some money. This way you could go and travel. Dalton, I know you've been in the sport for a while and all. Is there any other way that we could go about getting sponsors or anything that you've did in the past that worked?
I still don't have a sponsor.
Okay.
I still, everything's out of my pocket that I do.
Well, so
So,
you need to be listening right now as well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and another thing would be Katie, I would start hitting up some of the big organizations. With the women pullers, there's not too many women that are out there putting themselves out there willing to travel. So I'm sure if you hit up a lot of these organizations, they're trying to include a lot of women's matches these days. So that might be a good start as well. I know you got over there, you got Knuckles Up on the East Coast. That might be a really big stage to get on. And, I know they're trying to include some women matches as well. So it'd be something to think about also.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So Dalton, now I want to get back to you, man. We know you had this amazing experience over at Loray's round robin. You came in second place with the right hand. So I seen the other day, I think it was like maybe like a week back. I think you were feeling spicy that day. You must have woke up, man, and you were just feeling yourself, and you were like, "Yo, I got $2,000. I'm putting out a call out there," and you put the rankings out, and I believe you were in third in the 176 with the right hand rankings, and there was two guys in front of you, and you kind of just put out that $2,000 challenge. So kind of catch us up. Who's in front of you, and who are you calling out right now?
So, um, I've been chasing that number one spot in the U.S. for 5 years. Been pulling for 5 years. And I got number one in the state. I think my second year into it, and then I was number one in the SEC, and then I was like, okay, well, I need to travel out a little bit further because the number one guys, like the top, um, I'd say about 7 or 8, were all Midwest or out on the West Coast. So then I went to Kansas City, St. Louis. Um, so I got all the way up to number 5. Then I dropped off for inactivity, come back to pull Tevis, and he was number 2, I believe. We had some wars. He ended up beating me. And then he made it where I'm like, okay, I'm back in this thing. And my first real thing was the round robin, and got second place. I'm like, okay, let me see where these rankings are at. And they got me at number 4 at 176 and number 3 at 172. So I'm like, shit, I'm right here with these guys. They ain't gonna want to pull me for free. So let me just throw 2,000 out there and see if can't nobody come to me. And so I called out Luke Kent, Austin Tevis, and Jeff Hale. We all know how Luke is. Luke wants to pull a fucking tournament, something. He wants me to come pull a tournament. And I'm like, sitting here thinking, man, you're number one, right? If I come up there and pull a fucking tournament, I have to pull through 8 other guys, however many to get to you. I mean, I could get lucky and get you first round, but that usually never happens. Same thing with Jeff Hell. Jeff Hell wants me to pull him at 165 at this other tournament, and I'm like, I said 176. You're at number 1 at 176. We're gonna pull at 176. Not saying I can't get down to 65, but and then Austin Tevis, I need to get my match back with him. Uh, I lost to him, and so if he can still beat me 3-0 this easy, then why not do it for double the money we put up last time? But don't nobody want it. Don't nobody want to lose when they're at the top like that, man. And
So
that's the
you're
thing. I
putting out
mean,
you put out $2,000 and we haven't got no answers from anybody. It's just crickets. Not one person has contacted you.
they don't want it. They don't want to lose. They know they're going to lose, and they don't want it. I could have probably put up 10 grand up there, but they know they're getting pinned. They know they're going to get beat.
This is crazy. I can't believe this is going on right now, man. Like,
Yeah.
you guys hear this in the chat, bro. This guy's got $2,000. He is calling out the 176 class, the top guys, and it's just crickets, man. We need to get somebody's got to get in touch with these guys. Who would be who is number one right now? Who is the actual top guy? Is it Luke Kent? He runs on all the rankings. He's number one.
No.
No.
Jeff Hill is number one at 176,
Now
and
the
Luke
only thing I
Kent.
got to say with Jeff Hale though is I did see a video. I think it was like a month back on Manolo Sanchez's YouTube channel, and Jeff was kind of saying he was kind of falling back with arm wrestling. I think he had a kid or something recently, and I think he was kind of just focused more on sit down arm wrestling and not really being so much out there. So we do have to find out, if he's looking to be competing in super matches these days, but I think he kind of lost that drive. So I'm not so sure about him. But as far as the other guys, Austin Tevis and Luke Kent, well, Austin, I know you guys go back and forth with each other, talking crap and all that. And Austin, I know he's got a big match coming up with Giannis over in Arizona State's June 1st. So he's kind of, locked in with that. But Luke Kent, I think, is pretty free, and that could be a possibility. And I know Luke
Hey,
always said it'd have to make sense financially wise for him. $2,000, I think that kind of makes sense. Now, the only thing I could see being a problem is he might want, somebody to put up like hotel and expenses and all that. So he's above you in the rankings. Would you be willing to go to him and bet that
sure,
$2,000?
sure,
Oh,
100%.
oh, wow. Okay.
I will
So,
still come to him with 2 grand.
okay. So, any promoters, organizers on the West Coast, anywhere over here, you guys want to see that match, get a hold of Dalton right here, get a hold of Luke, and let's see if we can make that happen. If you guys can't find a big stage like that, I mean, dude, you want to come over here to North Cal? I mean, Luke lives right down the road from me. We could do it right over here in my gym. We could go make that happen. So, that's also a possibility. So, Luke, if you're listening, if anybody's could get a hold of Luke right now, maybe get him in here. Maybe we could set this up by the end of the show and all. That would be fucking great.
Dude, if I come to him and beat him 3-0 in his backyard, he needs to retire.
Oh man, strong words, strong words. Remember, man, with Luke is an OG in the sport, so that it would mean a lot though, bro. Beating Luke Kent that's major. He's been on top of the 176s for, I think it's like a decade now. Have you ever gripped up with him? Have you guys ever
No,
pulled in any tournament setting or anything?
no.
No, okay. Obviously you train with Justin on a regular and all. What is Justin's thoughts on a possible match between you and Luke? How does he think that would turn out?
Well, mm, he knows that Luke has a chance of beating me, but winning the super match, no. Uh, he may have a lane that I could adjust to. Um, but out of them three, out of Austin Tevis, Jeff Hale, Luke, um, Luke has probably the best shot out of any of them.
Why do you say that? Is it Luke's style like present
Yeah,
a
it's just
problem for
all
you?
styles. Yeah,
What part of his style would present a problem? Is it the speed?
speed is one of them. Uh, I wouldn't say too much of the hand. I don't mind people top rolling with me because they usually lose. Um,
The one thing I got to
But
say about Luke, man, is Luke's biggest strength is his hand. He has one of the strongest pound for
oh, then
pound
he's
hands,
getting
I'd
3
say.
0.
What's that?
I said he's getting 3 0 then. He's
Really?
not he's he's not taking my hand.
Wow. Okay.
If you can't take my hand, you're not going to beat me.
Okay. That's extreme words, man. I'm telling you, that's the one thing. Luke's hand is nuts, man. Like he comes over my house and I got those big Rogue bumpers and I got the 55-pound that are just so thick. And he'll just be talking to us and he'll just go over there, grab that, and he'll just start flinging them in the air and catching them. And like none of my super heavyweights on our team, like 300-pound dudes, could even come close to doing that. And this dude will just be casually talking to you and just flipping them around like it's nothing. So his hand
Tell
is
him to start practicing like this from now on.
okay. Yeah, man, he's feeling spicy over here. I hope this happens. I hope we can make this match happen. That'd be an exciting one for sure. So, Katie, now we heard Dalton's getting spicy over there. I know you got a big match coming up May 18th, but is there anybody else out there that you want to call out at this moment? Is there anybody that's on your radar or that could get that smoke?
As of right now, I don't have anybody that I would call out right now, but I do have someone in mind that I would love to lock up with, but I'm gonna need some training because she's a fucking powerhouse. No doubt.
Who are we talking about right now?
Merlin,
Oh, she is no joke. Wow. Yeah.
she's a
Merlene, I,
beast.
I got to see Merlene in action. She went down to Florida,
Hmm.
drove like a crazy amount of time, just got off of work, drove a crazy amount of time, come down there and beat one of the strongest Swedes, Ebba, and made it look so easy. And we all know Ebba is top
Hmm.
level, trains with the Swedes, and that's all you got to say. The Swedish
Yeah.
ladies are unbelievable. But Merlene was just so calm, so technical. Like,
Hmm.
definitely, I became
I
a big
love
fan of her
watching
that
her
day.
pull.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I have a lot of respect for her, but that's like my ultimate goal because I know I'm not even close to her level. Like I'm not even gonna be like, oh yeah, I got no, I just don't. I would love to be on that level. So that's what I strive for.
hell yeah.
So, but yeah, I would love to be across the table from her one day.
Yeah, shout out to Merlene. Merlene's an OG in our sport. She was in I think like 12 years back and all, and then she
Yeah.
took a couple years off, but now she's coming back even stronger and she's got all
Mhm.
that experience, great puller and a great personality of a person.
Yeah,
Really,
she
really
she's
good.
she's a really good person, very humble person.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So I got to see, I think it was like a month back. There was like a crazy super match that you were involved in. And it was a couple days until I actually got to see it. I kept hearing like nobody was actually saying the exact super match where there was this controversy, but there was a lot of posts about a super match, but they wouldn't actually say who was involved. But I knew there was something going on in community with a lot of controversy. So I think a couple days went
Yeah.
by and I started looking into it. And then I got to see the super match. I'm like, oh, let me see what they're all talking about. Cause what I've seen in the lead up, I'm like, it can't be that bad. Well, I watched it and it was nuts. I've never seen anything so crazy in my life. So can you kind of just, fill us in? What happened? What went wrong that day that it wasn't like any other super match I've ever seen. It was just so many problems going on. Like what was going on there?
It so after me and Lucky had our super match, the committee came together and ended up putting me ranked in North Carolina, number 5. Um, and then Liza called me out for my rank. She called me back. She called me out like maybe late January. Um, we scheduled it to April. Um, I like being ahead of the game, so I went ahead and figured out where we were going to have it. So I reached out to Damien, a very respected pooler. I knew things would, go the way they needed to, so that's why I reached out to him. He said that we could use his gym. Um, Months go by. We're about a week before the match, and Lazar Tex messages me on Facebook and says that Damien's not letting us pull there anymore. Wouldn't go into detail as of why. I didn't care. I was like, okay, well, I need to find somewhere else. Um, I train at I train with the Savage team. I'm part of the Savage team, so I reached out to Dobie, asked him if we could use his gym. He said that we could. I reached out to her, cleared it through her. She said that it was fine, so that's what it was. Fast forward to the actual match. I usually get there. I try to get there 45 minutes early because I like to warm up, get my head right, listen to some music. Um, she's she shows up late. It was like she was like over an hour late. We had people reach out and ask what I should do. They said technically I didn't really even have to give her the match because she's showing up late. But as I did not want to take her rank by something like that for her to just, so I wanted to make sure that she showed up. So I gave her more than enough time to show up. Um, there's a lot of, I'm not going to throw her personal business out there because that's not the type of person I am. Let's just say she wasn't in the condition she needed to be to pull, and I was pretty fucking pissed off. I take this very seriously. We are women, and some there's people that don't take us seriously at all. So I was extremely upset. I got in my head a lot, and I stepped out of character with that as well. But she just complained about the grip. It was trying to get me to drop my hand. And it was just a shit show. Just something that I'm not, just super match that I'm not proud of. And that's not the way I wanted to take the win, but that's just how it happened. I could have done less without, with all the drama with it. I just wish she would have showed up on time and professional so we could have had a better super match than what it was.
Yeah,
But
I think
that's the whole shindig of what happened, pretty much.
Yeah, I think I kind of learned the same kind of situation, with my match against Nanya, and I learned from that you definitely got to have like a contract which stated with the time, and a lot of people just take that for granted and really don't think of that. But when you start getting up to like, I don't know if you guys had money on the line, but I know with me and Nanya, we had a lot of money on the line, and it just showed me like we got to have that stipulation on there, like a certain time
Yeah.
is the deadline. If you're not there, then you forfeit the match. Because I witnessed the same thing where guy came an hour late. You're waiting there. You're kind of your adrenaline dump. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a good situation, and I just don't get it. A super match, you put in so much training and all that, and simple respect of just showing up on time is something needed. So I think that's something that we need to learn and just put in contracts from moving on, and so it doesn't happen again. We just got a
For
super
sure.
chat in for from Zach Boyer for $10. He goes, "I'm sorry, these rankings are a joke. Brian Malik is a true top level puller who doesn't get the credit he deserves. I'd love to see Dalton pull him for money. Paul set it up." Thank you for that, Zach. I appreciate that. So, Brian Malik is he talking about? So, Dalton, do you know Brian Malik?
I don't necessarily know him. I know of him. Um, a guy was texting me, I think right after the round robin.
We lost your audio, Dalton. Yeah, your audio.
Got it? Good?
Yeah, you're back now. We lost you
Okay.
for a second.
But I just know of him. We was they was talking about had this guy text me wanting me to super match him and all. And I mean I'm cool, but like at the same time I was having some problems with my hand and which I still am, but it's kind of going away. Um so, probably near future, probably could happen.
Let me ask you, Dalton. So I know obviously you're looking to pull up. You're trying to jump up in rankings and all. But like for instance, guys like that that are beneath you that want to pull you, what would it take for you to pull them? Do they got to come to you? Do they got to put up a certain amount of money? Kind of let that be known so people know what they need to do.
I mean, I really don't mind it. I mean, I don't want to travel very far, but you know, like I went to St. Louis, which is in almost a 9 hour drive for me. Went to Kansas City, 13 hour drive for me. I mean, I've did the driving, and so as long as you make 176, and it's at least got to be a grand.
And then now, if you're gonna go to them, you would want like your expenses paid, or would you
Oh
just it's
yeah,
just got to be,
oh
yeah. Okay. I want you to make it exactly the way you want it, brother, because this way people know exactly what it takes. And what the norm is for what I'm seeing is if somebody wants to pull a guy that's higher ranked than them, that person should come to them and they should be putting up the money, like, a certain amount of money that's got to be there. So I think it would be pretty fair if they're underneath you. I think that you want them to come to you, and then $1,000 minimum has to be, the minimum, you'd say.
yeah. I mean, I really don't mind them coming to me. If you're putting up a grand, I'll come to you. I don't mind it. You
Okay.
know, I like getting out anyways.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Dalton's about it. I like that. Oh yeah. So is there anybody else that you would like to, put on notice? Somebody else that could be possibly next? Anybody, if you had to pick somebody on this planet, anybody, man, like doesn't matter weight class or anything, what's your dream match?
For me,
Yeah.
like you talking about just to pull somebody or a super match?
Super match, like something that would get you excited.
Oh, Giannis.
Giannis. Okay.
Giannis.
Oh
Giannis
hell
has
yeah.
to be the guy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So you're going to be watching closely June 1st when
Oh yeah.
Austin
And
goes
then,
against him.
I'll finally get to pull him in December at Laray's event. He's got him coming to the Nationals in Tennessee. So I'm in it as well. So hopefully um he don't get put out before I get to him because I'm not losing a single match. There's just no way.
Hell yeah, man. I love the confidence. Love it. So, guys, I want to go on. I want to get your guys' predictions on a couple matches we got coming up this weekend. We got Knuckles Up 3 going down in Fort Lee, New Jersey, this Saturday, May 11th. If you haven't already, get over to High Five Arm Wrestling Club and order that pay-per-view. It starts at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and they put a stack card together. And the first match that I want to make mention, and I want to get Katie's prediction on this one, is they got a really
Oh God,
good.
I'm horrible at these.
But I think you might have some knowledge. We got the women's big match going on, and that's between Danielle Avenson and Nadia. And I don't even want to try saying her last name and disrespecting her by butchering it. But Nadia is from Ukraine, and she's been living in New Jersey for a few years now. So who do you think is going to get the win, Katie? Danielle or Nadia? Now, let me just give you a little background. I don't know if you know this, but Nadia's 20 plus years experience. Danielle's, I think, believe 3 or 4 years in and has a big powerlifting background. So, who do you think's the favorite that day for the win?
Probably Nadia.
Nice.
She has the experience.
Okay, and have you seen Nadia in action before?
I have not.
Okay. And what about Danielle? Have you seen her? And she's got a similar background to you with the whole powerlifting background. Have you guys run across each other in the powerlifting world?
No, no, we haven't. Like
Okay.
I said, I'm not. I'm so new. I'm still learning names.
Okay, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
Danielle hasn't been making that much noise over the last year in the arm wrestling world. I think she's been a little more focused with powerlifting. I could be wrong, but I know like probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago, she was going around the country and making a lot of waves and was one of the most dominant arm wrestlers for sure. One of the newer arm wrestlers that were very dominant. Um,
Yeah.
Dalton, I want to get your thoughts on that match. Who do you think is going to be the favorite that day? It's experience versus strength.
Hmm. Speaking of, I don't know either one of them.
Okay.
Uh, I would have to go with the 20-year plus experience, just because when you've been pulling for that long, your tendons are probably the size of your thumb, and you know
The muscle
that's
memory
kind of hard
too
to beat.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat, you know. And then you got to think 20 plus years, um, style wise. I mean, she's probably seen everything, you know. So adjustments are going to be way better. You know, she's going to know how to hit from different angles that the other one doesn't know how to. Maybe she doesn't know how to adjust. So maybe she just has to do one adjustment and then that's it, you know.
Yeah, the other thing is Nadi very versatile. She could pretty much pull in any style. So that could present a problem. The one thing I got to say is if Danielle can put the stop on it, I think it could be I think Danielle might be able to bring it back, because Danielle is very, very, very strong, and I think probably the strength gap is going to be pretty extreme. But just like you said, it's not always about strength, especially when you're 20 plus years. You come a table ninja, and you could work around that strength. So very excited about this match. This is definitely gonna be a great women's match to put out there. And I know a lot of people don't know Nadia yet, but you guys are gonna definitely like Nadia once you get to see her. I met her a couple years back at the Olympia in Florida, and I'd never forgot. She was a killer on the table for real.
I'll
Another
have to do
great
my
match.
research on them.
Say that again, Katie.
I said I'll definitely have to do my research on them for sure.
Oh yeah, and definitely tune in for that Knuckles Up 3, because Knuckles Up are doing it big, and this is only their third event, but I've been at all of them, and every single time I go there, my mouth is just dropped. I can't believe how big and like perfect they came from the beginning. The production, the amount of money they're putting into this, the matches they're making. It's definitely a great experience. And the other thing that I like that they do um, better than most organizations is they roll out the red carpet for their athletes from the time you land. I mean, they're literally getting picked up and chauffeured around, wine and dine the whole time. It's like all day long. You're getting meals and buffets, and they even bring a barber in and person that could cut your hair before you go on stage and everything. So they think of all the little details, and I think that's just amazing for
That's
the
awesome.
athletes. Another great match that they got going on that day is we got Roger Learn going against Uncle John. I think that one's going to be a good one, man. I think there's going to be a lot of hype up on that. So, Dalton, what's your thoughts on Roger Learn versus Uncle John? Who gets the win?
Is this left-handed?
This is no, it is actually right-handed, I believe. I believe it's a right-handed match,
Oh,
and Uncle John
uh,
is more dominant left hand, but he's also
yeah,
pretty strong right hand.
yeah. I've been seeing Roger. Um, well, not a whole lot lately. I think he had broke his arm at one time.
Yeah, I think it was the left arm about a year back.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But I know he is strong. He's real strong. But Uncle John is also strong. You know, when you get to them, your non-dominant arm, you tend to be a little bit more technical with it because, starting out you lose a little bit more. So, um, John might be able to come around his hand. Keep it away from the inside because I think that's where Roger's wanting to go. Getting to that hook, getting a real deep hook, maybe burn them out. But John's left hand, he's real strong, top roll with it. Uh, he may he, he may have enough hand to crack his wrist back. So it's really gonna if Roger can get behind his shoulder or not, to get that power in there. But if John can keep him outside, I think John will have it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match. And the one thing I could say about Uncle John is he is just massive these days, bro. Every time I see him, he just gets bigger and bigger. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot bigger Uncle John than we're normally used to. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Gotta
Um,
chuck a beer bottle over his head like old buddy did in Canada.
yeah, there you go, man. Hopefully it don't go to that. Hopefully not. What's your thoughts, Katie, on this match? Do you know about Roger Learn and Uncle John at all?
I do not, and I feel so bad, but I'm not familiar with names. I gotta do more research.
Yeah, we
But
got
I'm
to
not
get
gonna
you.
pretend to know and look stupid either.
Gotcha. Okay. So the other match that I want to make mention of is we got Jason Merlo going against Mario Tambakis. Dalton, what's your thoughts on that? Jason Merlo is our superstar of the East Coast. He's kind of like the poster boy for Knuckles Up. I mean, he's been part of each event. He's just keeps winning one after the other. At Knuckles Up 2, he just got a really, really impressive win over Tom Holland, which we all know Tom Holland is an OG in the
Yeah.
sport, next level. I don't know if you know much about Mario Tambakis, but
Huh.
I'll give I'll give you a little context real quick. Mario is out of Australia. He rolls with Lachlan and Ryan Bowen and Matt
Oh, you're talking
Condon.
about him. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's been brought out here a bunch of times by Tim Talmadge. He's been at Arizona States. I've met him at Washington States. You know, he's been doing a lot of big things. Dude is a phenom out of Australia. So a lot of people don't know Mario and are sleeping on Mario. Mario is definitely a lot bigger guy than Jason. You know,
Yeah.
they made the weight cap at 220, which Jason Merlo has never been up at 220, and Mario walks around 230, 235. So he's got a decent cut he's got to deal with, and he's got a very, very long flight. So keep that in mind before you give the prediction. Um, what's your thoughts with all that being said? Who do you think is going to get the win that day?
I still think Merlot's going to take it.
Gotcha.
Merlot is an absolute animal, dude. Um, I've watched him for a long time, but when I watched him in the 98 round robin, I mean, that is a different beast right there. And for him to be tall, he's got that long arm. Um, I don't know if the other guy's going to be able to at least get a good position on top of his arm.
Yeah.
I think Merlot is always going to be on top, which is going to really help him. And I think Merlot will stay on the offensive side the whole time. And what you say his name was Mario,
Mario Tambakis. Yep.
Mario, whatever. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have enough power to come through him. I
Okay.
really don't.
Well, the one thing I could say about Mario is you definitely go check out his videos, but very, very explosive. He put out a training video the other day, and it was just like, holy shit, dude! This dude is got to have a nasty hit. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Cannot wait for this card. I'll be there in person. So if you guys are on the East Coast, definitely come in person. They got a big ass theater. They're gonna be doing. I think it's called the Barrymore Theater over in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Every single event they do, they step it up. And I mean, this is like UFC level, man, for arm wrestling. This is just an amazing, amazing event. So if you're on that East Coast, definitely come in, pop in that day, and I'll see you over there. Before we call it a day, I want to just touch on a couple of the King of Table 11 matches going down June 1st. And one of those matches that really, caught my interest is Paul Lynn going against Lachlan Adair. The reason why these two, man, like they just look like each other, man. They're just both like these jacked, like statue kind of dudes, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited just to see these two grip up. So, Dalton, what's your thoughts on this, man? First off, who do you think is the favorite, man? This is a tough one.
Uh, I'm probably going to say Lachlan's probably going to have to be the favorite. I mean, when you just look at Lachlan, it's like he's got to walk sideways through doors. Um, Paul Lynn, he's more athletic, put it that way. So he's going to have. I feel like he's got more lanes, and I feel like the speed, explosiveness of Paul Lynn is going to help him out a lot in this match. But I do see it going center of the table, back and forth until they get it.
Yeah.
And neither one of them guys really gas out. So I feel like it's just going to be ridiculous match.
Where do you see it going? Do you think could we see a hook match going on that day?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely going there. That's 100%.
Who do you think has the advantage strength wise?
Yeah, that's kind of really hard to say. Um, Paul Lynn is just ridiculous. And then you see these videos of Lachlan doing all kind of crazy stuff. Um, I would probably have to give the strength to Lachlan.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you on that. Just because Lachlan's cutting down in size. He's going down into a lighter weight class. So Lachlan's normally a lot bigger guy, where I think Paul Lynn would be a lot lighter weight class, should be. So I'm gonna go with I think the favorite that day is gonna be Lachlan, but I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Lynn goes and shocks everybody like he does. And another thing, guys, this Tuesday night 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be having the arm wrestling buzz. I know it's normally Wednesday nights, but this week it will be Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, and my special guest will be Paul Lynn, and we're going to be talking about that big match with him and Lachlan in there. So definitely tune in. That's going to be a good one. Katie, I want to get your thoughts. I know you got to know Paul Lynn and Lachlan are there, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So
I like
which one's
Paul
getting
Lynn.
the win?
I like Paul Lynn.
Okay,
I don't know.
Paul Lynn's gonna
I think
win.
he just yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And then the last match I want to talk about is Hermes Gasparini versus Dennis Saplankov. What's your thoughts on that? We're gonna start with you, Katie. Who's gonna get the win
I'm
that day?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I want to say Hermes.
Okay, Dalton.
Um, that's gonna be
I can't hear him.
kind of hard.
Yeah, your audio's a little. It's real quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. There you go.
It's kind of hard to really judge on that one because Dennis has that bicep hold, like you've seen with him and Devin, with Devin trying to pin him 30 times, just whop, whop. And Dennis was just sitting there holding him, and it finally gasses out. Uh, but I know Dennis' hand's going to be busted back. That's going to be a definite. I don't think it's going to go inside, but I Hermes is way faster than Devin, and I could actually see him flashing. Kind of like the Jerry match, Jerry and Hermes. I feel like it's going to kind of go that way. If it gets stopped, you may see a little bit of a struggle from Hermes, but I don't think it's going to too much matter. Hermes is way too explosive, and I mean he is just way too strong nowadays. So I see it. I see Hermes just dominating that match.
I agree with you, man, because I think if Dennis does get the stop on it, I think Ermi's transition into the press is just going to end that right there. And I just
Yep.
think Dennis is not fast enough for Ermes, like you were saying. Ermes is just too explosive these days, and his hand is just next level. And then the other thing is, we got to remember, Dennis is not back. How long has he really been back? He's just getting back
Yeah.
into things, and I think he just had like a hip surgery or something like that going on. So, I don't know if he's actually going to be ready for Hermes's level as of yet. I would have liked to see Dennis maybe like get another match or two before that. But hey,
Yep.
I'm just happy they're finally going to get the pull, and it'll be a good one for sure.
Yep.
So Katie, is first off, can you see the chat right now at all? Have you been able to see the chat at all? Okay, good, good, because
I can
everybody's asking that. You got a lot of fans in here, and they
Oh,
all been,
I do.
yeah. Oh, you definitely got a lot of fans. I've been just popping and looking real quick, and I seen them. They're like, oh man, I hope that she can't see the chat right now because a lot of people are flirting with you right now. You got a lot of
Oh
fans in
God.
there.
Uh,
But
that's funny.
Katie, is there any platform that people could get a hold of you? Like, if anybody's looking to sponsor you or any of the promoters are looking to get you into a super match, where could they reach you?
Um, I mean, I have Facebook and Instagram,
Okay, so hit
so
her up on.
either or.
Okay, and do you have? I know a couple of the people were asking in the chat. They were asking if you have a YouTube channel yet.
I don't have a YouTube channel because I don't think I'm all that great at podcasts.
Well, I think you might, judging from everybody in the chat and what I'm seeing and all, I think you should definitely get a YouTube channel because I think it would blow up pretty
Okay.
quickly. And you don't got to do like you don't got to do a podcast or anything, but maybe put up some of your training videos, or maybe when you go to table practice, like, you were at practice earlier, just set up a
Hmm.
video there. And, I'm sure everybody'd love to see you pulling and doing your thing. And plus, it would inspire a lot of the new up and coming ladies, that want to, reach the
Yeah,
levels
of
that you have.
course.
Hell yeah. And
Yeah.
also kind of just fill everybody in, show them your training because you were saying you were a power lifter. So I know I'm interested to see what you do as far as getting ready for an arm wrestling match, and see how it all translates over to the table.
Yeah,
Guys,
of course.
guys in the chat, any questions for any of our guests before we call it a night? Let's see. We got, oh, what's up? Stephanie Spencer's in the house. Dave Shubich. Stizzy, what's up, my man? Levi, how you guys doing? Jay Corbin. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, so Dalton, same thing for you, man. Where can people get a hold of you?
Uh, just Facebook. That's all I got.
And so for Luke and Austin, get in touch with Dalton over there, or if you want to just hit me up, I could also relay message. Like I said too, if you guys want to make this happen, if you want to come over to Luke, we can make it happen over at my gym over here. Just to recap again, Luke Kent, he's calling you out for $2,000, and he is willing to come to you. He doesn't want to do it in a tournament because he wants that one-on-one. He really wants to test himself, and I think he's proven himself, man, showing that great performance at the round robin. It's definitely a worthy opponent, definitely a young buck coming up. So, Luke, if you're listening, here we go, man. We got a great challenge here in front of you. Let's jump on that for sure.
They don't want it. They don't want it. I promise you.
Hell yeah. Is there anything you guys would like to say before we call it a night?
No, I'm good.
Okay, well,
I'm good.
I want to thank both of you guys for coming on tonight. It was a pleasure to have you guys on. Katie, thank you. I wish you luck May 18th. I know you got that big
Thank
matchup.
you.
And
Appreciate
also, guys, I want to see her again around the country. So, any sponsors interested, she's going to get herself a shirt.
it.
Anybody want to get their name on that shirt and lots of eyes on it? Definitely hit her up, and we can make that happen as well. And yeah, let's see that. See the gun show before we call it a night. What's everybody working with? There you go. Hell yeah. Oh man, we just got out angled, Dalton, man. Oh, bro, Katie's killing us over here. All right, guys. Well, have a great night, guys. And thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you for all the support. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. And I will see everybody Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show. It'll be the Buzz Crew and Paul Lynn. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, brother.